Hey everybody, this is the Facebook Ads with a Twang podcast, and I'm your host Ben Blackman. Today, we're going to be talking about demystifying the Facebook pixel. Here comes episode 54. Facebook Ads with a Twang is dedicated to taking the often overcomplicated process of creating simple, successful Facebook ads, breaking them down step by step in less than 10 minutes at a time. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to episode 54. Thanks for joining me. And before I talk about the Facebook pixel, I kind of wanted to mention something that happened last night and how it relates, at least in my opinion, to marketing and business. And you know, the funny thing about marketing is when you kind of catch the marketing bug, everything relates back to it somehow. And that's both a good and bad thing. But last night, after getting into a car accident, somebody rear-ended us and then took off. But we were going real slow, so not a big deal. Nobody was hurt. But after getting home, I let my dog out to, go do her thing in the backyard, and of course she got sprayed by a skunk. Okay, so I spent quite a bit of time last night, doing all those things that you're supposed to be doing, whether it's tomato juice or hydrogen peroxide and baking soda and all this other stuff. So anyway, it's just not a fun experience, and I hope you haven't ever had to experience that, but I have, unfortunately, 2 or 3 times. So my point to all that is that about the skunk. And let's just think about that. When a skunk sprays your house, your dog, you drop everything else and focus on what you need right at that moment to clear that up. And that's what we need to be talking about in our marketing, right? We want people who are literally rabid for us. In other words, they want what we have. We don't have to convince them. We could, really just put it out there and say, hey, here it is, and they're just going to take it without question. They don't need a lot of convincing. They just want us to solve their problem. That's it. Okay, so that's how our marketing needs to be with our products and services. We just need to be there to solve the problem right then when they need the problem solved. If we can do that, then Facebook ads, Google AdWords, YouTube, any kind of marketing is going to work, even with the worst landing page, the worst sales page. If we're getting the right message to the right market, it's going to work. And so I was just thinking about that last night because, I'm thinking about all the products that you can buy to solve skunk smell and so forth. But I've bought them before actually, and so I was thinking about that, and I just thought that I wanted to share it. So let's talk about the Facebook pixel. And I've done other episodes about the Facebook pixel. So episode 2, 15, 16, and 41 all have to do with the Facebook pixel. So some of this will be rehashing that. But the reason I'm bringing it back up is because I get asked about it a lot, and it is so important in your business. And so the reason I'm, like I said, doing this episode is because I just want to make sure that you're using it to the best of your ability. Even if you're new, even if you haven't ever run a Facebook ad before, you really need to be utilizing the Facebook pixel. And so let's just talk real quick about what the pixel is. And it's just a tracking code, right? We're just tracking people. That's it. That's all it is. It's just a piece of code that we install on our website, or we may install, if we have a landing page service, we may install it there, or webinar, or whatever, so that when we send a visitor there, so we run a Facebook ad, they click on the ad, they go to our website, that Facebook can track that, and then we can also track what action they take. So for example, you send them to your website and they buy something from you. Well, you can track that through Facebook, and it's really powerful because then we have an ability to ask Facebook to find more people who are likely to do what that person did. I mean, that's extremely powerful right then and there. And to really make the Facebook pixel work effectively is you really need to have it installed everywhere that that you're driving traffic to, like I was talking about with landing pages and website. It really needs to be on all those pages. There's just one pixel. Okay, there's not a whole bunch of pixels, there's just one. There used to be a whole bunch, okay, and now it's just one. But setting it up is crucial. Okay, so if you're not running Facebook ads, and say you're not going to run them for another month, or you're not going to run them for another 6 months, fine. Go ahead and get the pixel installed so it can be gathering data for you. Okay, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But when you go into your ads manager, there's a place in there that's called pixels. And if you haven't set one up, it'll ask you to set one up. So you just kind of name it, and then it will give you some options on, to help you get it installed. So it'll say, hey, do you want to install it yourself manually? Do you want to send it to your web person? Or do you want to install it on one of these platforms? So like, for example, you're using Wix or Squarespace or Shopify or whatever, it'll have an instructional thing on how to do that. It's not that difficult. All right. You don't have to understand what the pixel means at all. You just have to have it installed. If the tech part of it seems overwhelming, not a big deal. There's tons of people out there that'll install it for you real quick. You can find people on Fiverr to do it. I would just be cautious with that. I'm just saying but it's really not that complicated. Nobody's asking you to learn how to code or anything like that. Okay, so don't worry about that thing right there. Now, the other thing is that if you don't do this already, and I can't remember if I've mentioned this, but when you're running Facebook ads, you really want to use the Chrome browser. All right, yes, you can use other browsers, but remember, Facebook Ads Manager was exclusively only on Chrome, so they built everything on Chrome, meaning to work well on Chrome. And so because of that, it makes it easier to run your ads, and you have less glitches and stuff. But the other thing is you can install the Facebook Pixel Helper, and it's an extension in Chrome Web Store that you can install, and it will tell you whether or not your Facebook pixel is installed correctly, or if there's a Facebook pixel at all. It'll tell you on your web if it's installed on your website, my website, anybody's, so you can see. And it's a really simple thing to use, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But you want to go ahead and get the Facebook pixel set up and installed. Oh, and by the way, before I forget this, you are required to have a privacy policy that addresses how you're tracking people, okay, if you're using pixels and so forth. Now, I realize a lot of you guys may not have that, and I understand if Facebook hasn't been cracking down on it. I'm just saying that they do want you to have one. You're supposed to have a link to your privacy policy, and again, it's supposed to be addressing how you're going to use tracking pixels. So just bear that in mind, that is something you're going to want to do at some point. All right, so now, why are we using the pixel? Well, let me just talk about a couple of things. One, for reporting. Again, so Facebook can tell you how well your ads are working, right? The second thing is so that Facebook can optimize your ads to serve them more to the people who are likely to convert. So if you're sending people to a webinar and people are registering for the webinar, you can actually optimize your ads and say, hey, Facebook, get me more people who are likely to register. Well, the only way we can do that is if the pixel tracks those people. Okay, we'll also use them for retargeting, and so retargeting is just basically sending an ad to those who have already been to your website or been to your landing page or wherever. We're just going to retarget them. We're going to create an audience and set up that audience and then run ads to them. That's it. Another thing that you can do is segmenting. So you can show ads to those that have been on the page longer. So like, say you sent somebody to a blog post and they stayed on that page for 30 seconds versus somebody who stayed on it for 5. Well, which one do you think is going to be more likely to take action? The 30-second person, right? Well, you can do that with pixels. Now, there's some advanced stuff to that, but it is very powerful once you start to understand the implications of it, okay? And I hope that made sense. So, but segmenting is huge. Plus, you could segment people like, maybe somebody went to your add to cart page, your checkout page, but they didn't buy. Well, those are probably more engaged than people who just went to your main website. So you can, actually narrow down which, audiences you want to show your ads to. So it's really, really powerful. The other thing is when you set it up and you're setting up these audiences, because of the pixel, you could show an ad to someone, let's just say that they visited your website in the last 21 days, but you don't want to show it to the people who's done it in the last 7. So you just want the people between, days 8 to 21. So you can exclude those people in the last 7 and include those people, the total people in the last 21 days. So that's just some powerful things you can do with the pixel. And it really goes hand in hand with those custom audiences, like I said. So I have an assignment for you. If you haven't gotten your pixel set up and installed, do it now. Do it today. Then create a custom audience for all website traffic. So you go to your audiences, you do custom audience, and you do all website traffic. So just remember, you can't retarget everybody. There's going to be, people have pixel blockers and everything, so you're only going to be able to retarget about 60 to 70% of people, but you still need to get that pixel installed. Okay, so there's a lot of advanced techniques on this stuff, but this is the basics. I hope this was helpful. One other thing I want to kind of mention, I'm going to hopefully be mentioning on future episodes, is that if you like to work with me or find out how we can work together or if we're a good fit, go ahead and schedule a session with me. You can go to One Focus Marketing, that's ONE, onefocusmarketing.com/session, SESSION. I think I spelled that for me more than for you. But onefocusmarketing.com/session. There's a special scheduling part there that you can go in and schedule 30 minutes, and we can talk and see, if it's something that you'd like to do. If you need additional help, join my closed Facebook group, Funnel Strategies for Facebook. I'd love to see you over there. And by the way, again, if you haven't left a comment or subscribed, please do. Okay, please go ahead, leave me a comment, tell me if I'm doing good or not, and then go ahead and subscribe. So I'll see you guys on episode 55, and I'm going to be talking to you on that episode about LinkedIn contacts and how you can use those to grow your business with Facebook ads, if that makes sense. I'll see you there.